Hello and welcome to elective classes. My name is Sanjay Sinha and today I'm going to discuss a very important topic under the writing section of class 11th and 12th, that is invitation. We are going to discuss that how to write an invitation, and we will also see that how to reply to an invitation. So let's get started. Okay, so first let's discuss about what is invitation. See, invitation is a request that we make to someone so that they can attend our program or event. Okay, for example, suppose you are celebrating your birthday, right? So you will invite so many people, you will invite your friends, relatives. So how you will invite them? You have to write an invitation, right? So invitation is just a request that we make to someone so that they can attend our celebration, they can be a part of our celebration, our event and our programs. Okay, I hope you got that. Now let's discuss about the types of invitation. See, as you know that letters are of two types, formal letters and informal letters. In the similar way, invitation can also be formal invitation or informal invitation. In this video, we are going to cover about formal invitation in detail. Okay, so if we talk about the formal invitation, it can be of two types. The first one is card type invitation and the second one is letter type invitation. Now, card type invitation, as the name itself is card type invitation, it means in this type of invitation, card is published and card is distributed to the people for invitation. Okay, and this type of invitation is generally for inviting so many people for any event or any occasion. Okay, and letter type invitation is basically for inviting some chief guest or VIPs. I hope you got that. Now let's discuss about informal invitation. See, informal invitation is basically written to relatives, friends or close ones. Okay, here I gave you a brief introduction about formal invitation. As I said before, that formal invitation can be of two types, right? Card type invitation or letter type invitation. Okay, so card type invitation is designed and printed in bulk amount so that you can invite so many people, your relatives, neighbors and colleagues at the same time. Okay, and but remember one thing that in printed cards or card type invitation, you have to write the name of guest, each invitee, manually by your hand, because see, it is not possible to write the name of each guest, each person on the card during printing. So you have to write the name of the guest manually by your hand. I hope you got that. See, the best example of printed card or card type invitation is the wedding invitation. You must have seen a wedding invitation. So suppose you are having a wedding ceremony and you have to invite so many people, right? So how can you invite all those people? You can invite all those people by using this type of invitation, card type invitation. You can just design and print so many cards and you can write the name of the guest. Okay, and you can distribute it to all your relatives, neighbors and colleagues. Okay, so it is that much simple to invite uh, your guest in any event. Now the second one is formal letter of invitation. See, it is written to request a person to attend your event as a guest or a VIP. See, suppose you are celebrating annual function day in your school and you have to invite any chief guest. So you will use this type of invitation, formal letter of invitation, to invite anyone as a chief guest or as a judge for competition. Okay, I hope you got that formal letter can be of two types, letter of invitation or printed card. You can use any method to invite, but here the purpose should be different. If your purpose is to invite any person as a chief guest, then you should use this way, and if you are inviting anyone casually in any ceremony, okay, then you can use this one, the printed card form. I hope I gave you a proper idea about what is invitation and what are the types of invitation. Okay. Now here the question is that how we can write an invitation. Okay. So in the left side I gave you the format of how you can write an invitation, and here is the sample invitation you can see here. Okay, so how you can write an invitation? The first thing that you have to remember is, in invitation, first we write about the name of the host. Here you can see Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta. Okay, so Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta is the host. They are inviting the guest. So here you have to write the name of the person who is inviting the guest. Okay, now in the second line you have to write some standard expression for invitation. Okay, here I have written request the honor of your presence at the. You can write any different line like Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta cordially invites you at the. You can write any other line. Okay, you can simply write Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta invites you at. You can write that. Okay, now let me remind once again, if you are writing an invitation, first you have to write the name of the host, then you have to write the standard expression for invitation. Okay, now the third thing that you have to remember is you have to write the purpose of inviting the people. Why you are inviting the people? So you have to write down the purpose. Here the purpose is wedding. Okay, and whose wedding? The wedding is of Rahul with Anjali. So first thing is the name of the host, then standard expression for invitation, then purpose of occasion. Now the fourth thing is that you have to write the name of the person for whom you are arranging this event, for whom the event is organized. Here I have written the name Mrs. Nirmal and Mr. Ranjit Gupta. Okay, I hope you got that. Now our next point is we have to write the date, day and the time of the event with the complete address of the venue. Here I have written Sunday. Sunday is the day. Then date I have mentioned on which date the wedding is going to be happen. And then I have given the time, at what time the ferry will be taken, at what time wedding reception will be there. Okay, so you have to mention the day, date and time with the complete address of the venue so that the guest can reach at the venue at right time. Okay, now see, one more thing you have to remember is at the end of the invitation we write RSVP. See, this is basically a French word. The full form I have given here. Okay, it basically means a response if it pleases you, or please response you can say. Okay, so you have to write RSVP and after that you have to write the address or the contact of the host. Okay, so this is how we write an invitation. It is quite easy, right? So first let me remind once again, first we have to write the name of the host, then one standard expression line. Okay, then the purpose of the invitation. Okay, and then the name of the person for whom the event is being organized. Okay, and then the time and place, everything, the complete address. Okay, and at last you have to write RSVP. It means please response. Okay, with the address and contact number of the host. Let me read once again. Okay, this invitation: Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta request the honor of your presence at the wedding of their son Rahul with Anjali, daughter of Mrs. Nirmal and Mr. Ranjit Gupta. Sunday, 10th December 2022, Ferry at 6 p.m., wedding reception at 8 p.m., venue Surya Grand Hotel Ranchi. RSVP, the name of the host and the contact detail. So this is how you write an invitation. I hope you got the point. Okay, so in the previous slide, I gave you complete detail about how you can write card type formal invitation. Okay, now let's discuss about how you can write letter type formal invitation. Okay, so here I gave you the format of letter type formal invitation, and here I gave you one sample. Okay, this sample I have taken from Google. Okay, just for so that you can understand the better. Okay, so here you can see that in the format, first you have to write sender's address. Sender's address means the person who is sending the invitation letter. If you are writing the invitation, there here you have to write your name, your address. Okay, then you have to write the date on which you are sending the invitation, then the receiver's address. Okay, receiver's address you have to write, then the subject. See, generally people miss out this thing, but you have to remember that subject is very important when you are writing any form of letter. Okay, because see, subject is what? Subject is, you can say that it is a summary of overall letter. Okay, see, subject you can write in hardly 5 to 6 word, and in 5 to 6 word you have to write the main point of your letter, why you are writing the letter, what is the purpose of this letter. Okay, so subject is very important, you have to write the subject. And then salutation, this is called opening salutation. Then you have to write the body, and then complementary closing lines. Okay, I will give you some complementary closing lines as well, so that you can write that. Then you have to write the closing salutation, that is yours sincerely. You can write yours truly, yours faithfully, you can write anything. Then you have to write your name. Okay, can you see here I have given space here. After sender's address I have given some space here. After date I given some space here. Why? Because you also have to leave one line here. You have to leave one line. Again you have to leave one line here. Then you have to leave one line here. Then you have to leave one line here. Okay, so you have to leave one line after sender's address, after date, after receiver's address, after subject, and then you have to write the salutation, and then you can write the body, complete body. See, if we talk about the body, you can write it in 2 paragraph or 3 paragraph. Okay, you can hardly write body into 4 paragraph, but more than 4 paragraph is not recommended, it is not good. Okay, so you can write body means the main idea why you are writing the letter, you have to explain, right? So in the first paragraph you can introduce the purpose, in the second paragraph you can elaborate the purpose, and in the third paragraph you can conclude overall. Okay, so this is how you write. And never forget to write complementary closing line. Okay, so in the last you have to remember that closing salutation is also important, and then you have to write your name. Here in this picture you can see that how it is written. Can you see here? First of all, the from means sender's address is written here. Okay, name and address. Then the date is written here. Then here you can see the receiver's address. To means to whom you are sending, one who will receive it. Okay, so here you can see that receiver's address is written. Then you have to also mention the subject. Okay, here it is not written, but you have to mention the subject. Now after that you have to write the salutation. Here the salutation is dear sir. Okay, so you can write dear sir, you can write respected. Okay, so you can write anything. Okay, good. Now after that you can see that body is written. Body means the main idea of the letter. Okay, and then the complementary line here, closing line, you can see it is written that we look forward to your presence at the event. Yeah, that is, so this is the complementary closing line that you have to also mention. Okay, and last you have to write down the closing salutation, that is yours sincerely, yours truly, or anything else. Okay, but it is compulsory to write. And then your name. Okay, so this is how we write letter type formal invitation. Okay, so here is letter type formal invitation. Okay, first here you can see that I have written sender's address. See, I am sending the invitation, then I will write here my name. My name is Sanjay Sinha, so I will write my name here, and then sorry for the writing. Okay, see, I will write my name here, and with my complete address. Okay, then I will give the date. Okay, suppose today is 21st. Okay, 21st November, so I will write here 21st November, and then I will give the receiver's address to whom I am sending this invitation. Suppose I am sending this invitation to one of my colleague, Gautam. Okay, so I will write the name of Gautam with his address. Then I will write the subject. What will be my subject? Subject will be to invite, for whatever the subject will be for inviting for annual function event. Okay, let's take that subject. Okay, now then I will give the salutation, that is respected sir or ma'am. Here it will be respected sir because I have written Gautam here. Okay, now here you can see I have written that it is with immense pride that we wish to celebrate. Okay, here you have to write the name of event. Okay, we wish to celebrate which event you are wishing to celebrate, you have to write here. On you have to write on which date. Okay, on which, suppose you are planning to celebrate on 25th December, so you have to write here 25th December. On, then time you have to write. Okay, in hour, where you are going to celebrate this event, you have to write here. You can write on my premises, on, you can write anywhere else. So here you have to write the name of the place. Okay, now let me read once again, that it is with immense pride that we wish to celebrate this event on this date at this time in our this place. Okay, and we shall consider it a great honor if you could grace the occasion and preside over the function as a chief guest. Okay, and here I have written that kindly confirm your availability at earliest. And last I have written here, yours sincerely, Sanjay Sinha. So you can see that I have mentioned everything, although my invitation letter was quite short. Okay, but I have mentioned everything here. I hope you got the point. Okay, so I hope that you are getting everything. I taught you two types of formal invitation. The first one was card type formal invitation, and the second one was letter type formal invitation. Okay, I taught you both, that how you can write both the types of formal invitation. Okay, now see, writing an invitation is okay, but see, sometimes we have to reply to an invitation, right? So how we can reply an invitation? See, let me tell you one thing, that we must reply to an invitation. Why? Let me tell you. See, as you can see here, that a reply to an invitation is essential. Why? So that we can appreciate the host's feeling and letting the host know whether you are attending the function or not. See, it is very important. If you will not reply to an invitation, then how the host will know that whether you are going to attend the function or not, right? So we have to reply to an invitation. Okay, as it helps the host to make necessary arrangement accordingly. See, if you will reply that yes, you are attending the function, the event, then obviously he will make better arrangement for you. And if he will not reply, then you suddenly go to the function and you blame that the host has not arranged well. So it is not the host's problem, it's your problem that you have not responded to the invitation. Okay, so we have to reply to an invitation. Got my point? Good. Now the question is that how we can reply to an invitation, that we are going to cover in the next slide. See, as invitation is of two types, formal and informal, in the similar way, reply to an invitation can be also of two types, accepting the invitation or declining the invitation or rejecting the invitation. Okay, see, if you are getting an invitation from anyone, it means either you will accept that invitation or you will decline or reject that invitation. Okay, so if you are accepting the invitation, it means you are agree to join the event, you confirm your presence in the event. But for any reason, if you are not able to join the event, so you write this type of letter, that is declining the invitation. Okay, and this is also known as letter to regret. Okay, why regret? Because you are not able to join that joyful moment. Okay, so reply to an invitation, you can write either accepting the invitation or you can write declining the invitation. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about these two things. Okay, so here I gave you the format of how you can write a reply to an invitation. See, in the right side you can see here, this is the same invitation that I had given in the previous slide. Okay, so suppose, let me give you a situation. You receive this invitation. Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam invites you in the wedding of their son. Okay, so you receive this invitation. You have to write a reply to this invitation. So how you are going to write the reply, how you are going to reply this invitation? The format I gave you here, can you see this format? Here you can see that here first of all you have to write the sender's address, means you have to write your address, your name and address. Then you have to write down the date on which you are replying to this invitation, and then you have to write down the subject. Subject can be either accepting the invitation or declining the invitation, because only two things can be, right? Either accept or decline. So uh, write down the subject, either accepting the invitation or declining the invitation. Then you have to write the salutation. This is the opening salutation. You can write here, dear Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta. Then you write the body of the letter. You have to explain here that why you are eager to join this event. Okay, and then you have to mention one line as a thank you note. Why? Because see, they are inviting you to their son's wedding, right? So you have to be thankful to them. So you must write down like I'm so glad, I'm thankful that you invited me to the wedding of your sons, right? Like this, we have to add some sentences there. You have to write at least one line thanking Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta. Okay, and then you have to write down the closing salutation. Okay, closing salutation is as I said before, it means yours sincere, yours sincerely, yours truly, yours faithfully, anything. And then at last you have to write your name. So this was the format of how you can reply to an invitation, and this is the invitation that you got. So you have to write a reply against this invitation. Okay, good. So are you able to do that? Okay, don't worry. In the next slide, I will provide you a sample of how you can reply to an invitation. Okay, so here I have written a reply to an invitation. Okay, you can see here in the starting I gave the sender's address. I am writing this letter, so I am the sender, so I have written my name, Mr. Sanjay Sinha, and I have written my address, D Block, Santinagar, apartment, Gandhi Road, Patna. Okay, now after that I have written here the date on which I am accepting this invitation, on which I am writing this invitation. Then I have given the subject is acceptance of invitation, because I am accepting this invitation and I confirm that I will be available at the event. Okay, after that I have written here the opening salutation, that is, dear Mr. and Mrs. Gupta, I have no words to express my feelings seeing the wedding invitation of your elder son Rahul, dated December 10th, 2022. Okay, so this is the date on which the wedding is going to happen. So I have mentioned the date, and I'm so, here you can see that I'm so excited. Okay, so this is how you can write. Okay, I have written here that I have no words to express my feeling. Okay, it means it shows that I am so excited to be a part of that wedding ceremony. Okay, then I have written that I'm so happy to receive this wedding invitation. I would definitely join this joyous moment of his wedding. Okay, thank you so much for this invitation. Okay, now here you can see in the second paragraph I have written that I am very busy, but still I want to join the wedding. Here you can see I have written that nowadays I am in Jammu on some company project and very busy with my work. Even then I want to join immediately for this prosperous occasion to help you out with the wedding preparations. Do let me know if I can be of any help for wedding preparation. Look at this line. Here I try to sound more friendly, right? So here I written that do let me know if I can be of any help for wedding preparations. Okay. Now after that I gave my contact number and my official email ID so that Mr. and Mrs. Gupta can contact me anytime if they need any help. Okay. Now after that I given here a thank you note that thank you so much for the wedding invitation and give my love to your son. I'm looking forward for a joyful and wonderful wedding ceremony. Okay, so this is how we write a reply to an invitation. In the last you have to write the salutation. Here I given with warm regards, Sanjay Sinha. Okay, so once again let me remind you, first we have to write, see, if you will remember the format, it will be become very easier for you to write any letter, okay, any type of letter or invitation, anything. So remember the format. First we have to write the sender's address, then you have to leave one line, then you have to write again the date, then you have to leave one line, then subject, then leave one line, then write down the opening salutation, then write down the body, then give a thank you note, okay, and then the closing salutation and your name. Okay, so this is how you can reply to any invitation. I hope you got that. I gave you the complete detail about how you can reply to a formal invitation. Okay, that was in letter form, that how you can write a formal letter as a reply for an invitation. Okay, now there is another way to reply to any invitation, basically the formal invitation. Okay, so here you can see, you can simply write, this is the short way. Okay, it is also mentioned in your book, in class 12th book, that is why I gave you. Okay, but still I prefer to write the first one which I gave you, that was in letter format, that is quite well. Okay, you can also write this one, it is in your book, so I presented it before you. You can write here Mr. and Mrs. Here you have to write your name. Okay, Mr. and Mrs., your name. Suppose I am accepting this invitation, the formal invitation, so I will write Mr. and Mrs. Sanjay Sinha. Mr. and Mrs. Sanjay Sinha, thanks Mr. and Mrs. Gupta. Why? Because Rekha and Gautam Gupta has invited me, right? So I will write that Mr. and Mrs. Sanjay Sinha, thanks Mr. and Mrs. Gupta, okay, for their kind invitation to to what, to their son's wedding on, you have to write here date, at, you have to write the place, venue, okay, and has great pleasure in accepting it and confirms, here you can write, confirms his presence at the venue on the scheduled time. Okay, so this is how you can reply to an invitation in a very short way. Okay, but I will always recommend you to go with the first one. Okay. Okay, so I have taught you so many things. So there is a homework for you. The homework is that the question is given here, that you are Shreya Malhotra of 12A, Ramnagar, Mumbai. Okay, you have been invited by Mrs. Rekha and Mr. Gautam Gupta to attend the wedding of their son Rahul. Okay, you have to write a formal reply to Mrs. and Mr. Gupta declining. See, here you have to decline. I shown you my letter as a reply to the invitation as accepting. Okay, I accepted the invitation, but you have to write it as a declining the invitation to attend the wedding ceremony of their son. It means you have to write a letter to regret that you are not able to attend the wedding ceremony. Okay, so this is your homework. Good. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I hope you understood everything well, and thank you for joining. Keep learning.